All right, here we go. Hey, enthusiasts, what's happening? This is Salty Language episode 602.
Man, I'm clicking all over the place. The sexiest podcast on the network.
Jeez, Tony.
Well, this
You're a mess.
mouse, like, it's better than the old one I bought, but it's
Yeah.
still not great. So sometimes it just doesn't move smooth enough. It'll be like, you know, and then I'm clicking the wrong shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty annoying.
Yeah. I had one that did that years ago, and it was that the batteries were shit in it.
Oh.
And once I switched batteries, it fixed it. So I don't know. It might be worth a try.
Yeah, it might be. What do we got in here?
Or it might just be a shit mouse,
I mean, it's old. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got the power of Rayovac in here. I don't know. That is a quality battery.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't even know where I bought. Oh, I do remember where I got Rayovacs, Brian.
Aldi.
I
was gonna say that's where you buy everything.
I was cashing out, and I was like, "Oh shit, I need batteries." And that was before I bought the big brick of Kirkland batteries. So these batteries, it might be the batteries. These batteries are pretty old.
Because I know, like I said, I know sometimes that happened to me when it was, back when I was using a mouse that used a battery. So.
Ray, I'm about ready to just go back to everything being wired. Fuck y'all,
Yeah.
Yeah, because
it's like since I sit right here all the time, having wireless really is almost pointless. Like when I had my Mac, I had that wireless keyboard because it came with it,
Right.
But I learned a lesson after a while with that, which, was that, like when the computer was like off or whatever it was, like when and then it basically didn't pair with the keyboard, I couldn't start the computer.
Oh, that's a problem.
Basically. Yeah, so it was I couldn't pair it together or something. It was a real problem. So I was like, well, thank goodness I still had, a wired keyboard from my previous Mac. So I was just plug that in, and now I can boot everything up. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it was a bit of a problem. And I looked online, and there was like people were like, yeah, that's the suck, basically.
Yeah, standard issues suck.
Oh, good. Glad to see there's a fix for it. Yeah. The fix is, make sure you keep a wired keyboard.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, that is wild. I mean, the worst comes to worst of mine is it just dies. My wireless one. But I just plug it in and I can just. But then it's wired to power, so then it becomes a wired keyboard again. Fucking deep, bro.
Mine didn't even have that option. Oh. Mine's just straight wireless. Like there was no USB port or anything. So it used batteries.
That sounds like a Mac thing.
Yeah, which I thought was really stupid. I'm like, why not make this like to where you can plug it in to recharge it, kind of a thing. Like a lot of mice are.
Hell no. We're gonna make this as wasteful as possible.
Right. You are correct, sir.
Like I kind of want to just go and buy like an not old school because they still make them, but like a mechanical keyboard. It's like the satisfying clickety clicks, and
that'd be nightmares for the podcast though.
It wouldn't be that bad.
It'll pick up all clickety clacks.
I mean, this kind of clickety clacks too.
Not really. These new keyboards are great.
You don't hear that? Quiet. Oh shit! I just hit a hotkey. God damn it! Well, we were fucking around, Brian.
That'll teach you.
All right.
I guess. I don't know. What happened on your wall behind you?
What?
Like your mushrooms tipped over?
Oh, what the fuck? I don't know.
Your skeleton's askew?
I have no idea. Well, you know what? When I came up here, the door was slightly ajar, so that means some asshole cat was in there fucking around.
That's probably what happened then, yeah.
I bet she was Ember, and she's probably like, I can eat that plant. It looks delicious. She's real stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice that when I walked in.
I just happened to notice your skeleton pictures, like,
Yeah, that would be Ember, because I would assume it's Ember, because, she's got to get into everything.
Sure. Well, it's a cat.
All right, but the other cat doesn't do it like Ember does it.
Oh.
Yeah, right. Ember's like, if you set anything on the ground, she's like, I'm jumping in that.
Yeah, well,
like
I mean,
immediately.
The first rule of owning a cat typically is if you put it within their reach, it's theirs.
Yeah.
So, that makes sense. Callie's the same way. If you just set a box on the floor, she's like, oh, well, clearly I have to get
Like,
in
fuck
this.
yeah.
Yeah. If I fits, I sits,
Exactly.
So, and even if I don't fit.
I mean, I saw a bunch of posts online yesterday of people dropping, now that I look at it, my camera's all crooked. Yeah, it normally goes like that. I just realized I was off center. Goddamn cats. People were posting pictures of boxes they put together to make Fort Asshole for their cats, or the Asshole Cave or whatever. I kind of want to label up some boxes, take some pictures for internet clout.
Sure.
Like you do.
Yeah.
Like just you
do. Turn the salty language TikTok into nothing but cat videos.
I know. I actually haven't posted anything in a minute. I am working on that one you suggested last week of Will Smith.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got it all downloaded. It's been a week. It's only Tuesday. It's been a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. So, I know, I'm dying. It's all right, though.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough.
Yeah. So how's Brian?
I'm good. It's been pretty boring and quiet recently, so haven't really done a whole bunch. Went to it's weird, like they've added all this stuff in GTA, so I've been like, instead of just doing the daily stuff, it's like I'm kind of running around doing like little dumb things, like the one drug dealer in there, he has a cache that if you find it can have, like, I don't know, it's got money or drugs or whatever in it, and it's seriously all you have to do is go up to it and grab it, and then you have like a 2-star wanted level you have to get away from, which is easy. So I've been doing that, and like if you have an auto shop, like you can deliver a car and get money, and same with the bikes and all that. So I've just been doing just mindless shit in the game. It's funny, in the auto shop though, you can have your employee deliver the car, but I've done it twice, and both times I haven't gotten anywhere near the full price because the car's all banged up by the time they get it. So clearly it's a terrible driver. So I'm like, well, okay, I guess this is to teach you that you should do the delivery, but which is kind of funny.
Now, can you hire a better driver?
Not that I've noticed so far. Oh. Like I think the only employee I've hired so far is, I didn't look to see if there's other employees. So hopefully, because, this other dude is, just plain terrible.
Piece of shit.
What's funny though is, like, in the game, they're like, you respray the car or whatever. Excuse me. And like the colors that are picked almost every time are some, like, they're all like just like moss green, weird brown colors. Like, they're, it's rare that it's ever a really, like, cool looking color. It's kind of funny. Same with the motorcycles. A lot of them are, weird colors instead of being colors you would think people would want on a motorcycle. I don't know. I'm assuming the game just does it randomly.
I would assume as well. But maybe there's one guy behind it like, this will confuse him.
Right. Like, I'm only going to have green, ugly greens and browns. But, I mean, it's no big deal. I don't, it doesn't matter to me. You just zip through the modifications real quick, and then you go deliver it, basically.
Whoa, I think Brian just died. Oh my God, he vanished off the screen. He's dying. Oh, hey, no problem, Cheeto. Had to work way over today, so you'll listen tomorrow. Brian, is your face done exploding?
Oh my God, dude. That was one of those where it was a sneeze. I don't know how much of it I muted. I tried to get to the mute button.
As far as I could tell, pretty much everything.
Okay, good.
You just were spasming on and off the screen.
Yeah. It was very much a what?
I got something exciting to show you.
Oh, all right.
Well, I guess it's exciting for me. It's not really exciting for you.
Oh, well, I don't care then.
This guy, Brian, this guy right here, has
Yeah.
himself a Scotty Karate.
Oh, wow. That's a different
Oh,
looking can.
I know, right?
Oh.
I saw it over the weekend at Bulk Beverage, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
Haven't had one of these in a long time.
for sure. I haven't either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If only it was the day before, I would have had them for us on Saturday.
Son of a bitch.
But this is I did this on the Lord's Day.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know?
That is the right day to buy beer.
Yeah, of course. That's when everyone else is doing it.
Yeah. Well, that's what the Lord would have wanted.
Exactly.
You know. He's like, forget this wine shit. I'm gonna turn this into Scotty Karate.
I am kind of feeling bad. I'm drinking it straight out of can, though. I didn't grab a pint glass.
Oh, jeez. How do you not have a pint glass?
I mean, sometimes I do, but they hang out up here, and I don't want to reuse.
Oh, yeah.
The grossness. You know? So
that's all right.
I mean,
I'm sure it'll still taste plenty fine. How could it not?
Oh yeah, that's a tasty bastard right there.
No. That's a Scotty Karate.
Oh yeah, you right. You right.
It is kind of funny that it's the same kind of beer, but from Founders.
Yeah.
Does have bastard in the title. It's not family friendly.
Yeah. Do you see Founders? Did you see that they redesigned a bunch of their labels?
Yeah.
Not a fan.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either. I mean, I don't know if they're trying to streamline it or something, but
it's very possible, I guess.
It's like I like the old labels of the art, like the kid eating the breakfast, cereal, and yeah, they better not get rid of Backwoods Bastard guy.
I know. I'm waiting for him to do that and then like change the name of it.
Yeah, it's just like, come on, boys, what are you doing?
What they need to do is put like Lobo on it and then call it Backwoods Bastich.
I mean, that'd be a nice little alternate to take the existing art and just put Lobo in there, and yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah,
that'd be good, clean fun.
Yep. Oh man.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah.
I gotta say, my throat's like a little scratchy. I better not be getting sick or something.
Oh boy.
I'm pissed. Like I just noticed tonight. I did eat buffalo chicken chili. Maybe that's got something to do with it.
Probably not.
I don't know.
Have you been eating glass at work again?
I mean, sometimes you can't help it. You're surrounded by it.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
Looks delicious. It's like rock candy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like I saw this video the other day. It was on that what's it called on Look at This Russian on Instagram.
All right.
And it's usually just Russians doing crazy shit.
Yeah, you'll have that.
Yeah, and this one, like this woman's in, she comes up from like she's underwater, and she comes up and basically from the point she had dove in till when she came back up, it had frozen back over, like very thin, of course.
Yeah.
But so she cracks through this ice coming up, and she's got a bowl, with water in it. And she throws the water or whatever, and then she just takes a bite out of the bowl, and it looks like a glass bowl, and then you're like, oh, it's ice. I hope.
Fucking Russians, man.
Yeah.
You get some weird videos out of Russia.
Yeah, that's why I followed that account. I don't remember. I heard it on something. Somebody talked about how it was like their favorite Instagram to follow, and there's another one that's like, look at this American, where it's, Americans do America stuff.
I mean, yeah.
So some of those aren't as good, but some of those can be,
Yeah.
The Russian ones are always crazy.
Yeah, I follow a Russian subreddit. It's like, I think it's something similar, like A Day in Russia or something it's called.
Right.
Yeah. For the same reason, because there's always wacky shit happening.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Be some some kid, 18 stories up doing pull-ups off the side of a building. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Like, well, this is this is the internet. This can't end well.
So
and then he's just like done. You're like, oh, the internet's failed me.
It's just how Drago trained. Or it's how Rocky trained. We went to Russia. Yeah. Drago was into like the sweatshop of all the machines.
Yeah, because he was getting pumped full of roids.
Exactly.
And stuff,
Rocky was running up hills with like a log on his back and shit.
Yeah,
doing push-ups in the snow.
Yeah,
I would say maybe more Russian than If the
Yeah.
internet's told me anything recently, Rocky was more Russian than Ivan Drago.
Well, current Russia, yes, but in the 80s, probably not, because Russians were known for like, you know, doping like crazy.
Well, I mean, it doesn't make you a bad guy.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yes.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Is that what was on Gorbachev's head? Was that like doping injection wounds?
Probably.
Yeah.
I just figured his head was like a dry erase board. Somebody drew on there. He just never realized it.
Someone grabbed a Sharpie instead of a Vis-a-Vis or whatever those stupid dry erase markers are called.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do a Russian accent, but whatever.
No,
I can't. I tried. I was about ready to, and I'm like, I don't even know how I'm gonna start this.
Yeah. Usually with the word comrade,
like,
that's
moose
what
and squirrel, something like that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, obviously we'll get to Saturday, but yeah, we had a good weekend. Went and saw Cocaine Bear on Friday. Little matinee
Nice.
action, which, by the way, matinee movie tickets, Brian, $8. Can't beat that.
Oh, that's strong.
Yeah. Although, don't miss going to the theater.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when the movie starts and there's a lady on her phone for like 30 minutes right in front of you. It's on the brightest setting possible.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty annoying. That and
Yeah.
like I was hustling to get us there. I'm like, come on, we gotta go. We gotta see the previews. There's so many commercials and then previews. I about ate my whole bucket of popcorn before the movie even started.
Jeez.
I know, right?
That sounds about right, though. Yeah.
But I mean, Cocaine Bear, fun movie. Would recommend it. Definitely when it streams, check it out for sure. But I mean, for a matinee movie, yeah, it was fun. It was fun to go see. It's very silly. And I'm glad that's the angle they took.
Yeah, I listened to Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend last night, and Elizabeth Banks was on there, and she's the producer, I think, of that movie. I don't think she directed it. I think
her name was definitely in the beginning, though.
And she was talking about that because obviously it's based on a true story, but in the story, the bear just overdoses on cocaine basically. Right. So, and then she was talking about how they decided to just be ridiculous with it and stuff because it's a much more fun story than the sad story of a bear just doing bear shit, and then there's just cocaine.
Yeah.
And it just, loves the cocaine and then, dies, basically. That's not much of a story.
Is that after he planned like 18 businesses and
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Went on a tour in a tight-fitting clown costume,
Exactly. No, I mean,
that's man, if somebody hasn't mocked that up, there's another good thing to mock
for
up.
Sure.
A bear
as
Dr. Roxo.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was fun. Okay. I mean, all I could say is ambulance scene. That's all I'm going to say. Right. Ambulance scene.
Right. Like, the reviews I've read for it have either been, like, stuffed shirts that are like, or, like, this is fun. Just go in and just have fun kind of a thing. And I'm like, dude, the name of the movie is Cocaine Bear. I'm not going, oh, this might be an Oscar movie.
It's like, I mean, not with such a twist, but have you ever seen Cabin in the Woods? Okay, so it's kind of like, Cabin in the Woods. You're like, oh, well, that was trying to sell as more of a scary movie, but it's a silly movie the whole time.
Oh, it's more of it's similar to like the first Scream, to where it was kind of funny as well as, like making light of a genre kind of thing at the same time.
Yeah. I kind of got those same vibes watching that movie. Yeah. And obviously, if a name like Cocaine Bear, I knew what I was walking into. Like the first time I watched Cabin in the Woods, I didn't know what I was. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't either. I really thought it was just going to be a scary movie, and I loved it.
Yeah, it's great.
It was, we
watched it. That was one of our outdoor movies over the summer.
Right.
But yeah, it's fun, Brian.
All right.
Fun.
I like to hear that because it's one of those, like, when you see a movie like that and you're just like I want it to either be fun or I want it to be so bad it's good.
No, it's just it's fun and good.
So, the worst thing that could have happened was you could have watched it and then be like, dude, it's so bad. And I'd be like, oh.
Like some of the Sharknado sequels I forced myself to watch. First Sharknado was just fun, and then
Yeah.
it got steadily worse and worse.
Yeah. You still got to watch them though, because you gotta know the
Oh,
whole
we did.
story.
We did the whole arc.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember there was one day Leah, Michelle, and I spent probably 3 or 4 hours driving around Toledo just looking for shark gummies because we're gonna have a
Right.
Sharknado night, you know?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Also caught up on The Last of Us.
Like all the way
All the
caught
way
up.
caught. Watched the most recent episode last night,
Yeah.
and
I think the newest episode was like, I think
no
no spoilers
spoilers,
or
of
anything,
course.
but I kind of feel like it was the break that we needed emotionally, even though it's still emotional. It's I felt like
It
it
was a
kind of
little
gave us
more
a little bit.
light.
Yeah, essentially, there was definitely a lot of fun
Yeah.
in it, you know. But the one thing, and I guess this is a spoiler, just in case anyone, but I still can't get over how we're 7 episodes in, and most of the episodes there's only like 1 or 2 clickers in it,
Yeah, right.
and that's it. Like there's not like these huge, like obviously there's been a couple where you see large groups or whatever, but most of it has just been 1 or 2. And it's really interesting because I was reading about the game, how this episode, the I think it's from like a DLC or something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Or no, maybe it's not. I don't know, whatever. But anyways, the part of the game it corresponds to, there's a lot more in it. Like there's a lot more clickers in it. So I was like, I wonder why, I mean, I guess, it's a good way to save budget money,
I mean, that's true.
because you only have to have 1 or 2 people made up versus, okay, we need like 75 people made up
That's
here.
where CGI comes in.
True. Yeah. So,
Nah,
but I thought it was still good, but it was like across the other episodes, I feel like it was kind of the weakest episode,
bro.
but still good.
I mean, you were right. It's still not exactly like a cheerful episode,
Right?
but up until that point, every episode when it ends, you're just like, well, there goes a piece of my soul. Thanks. You know?
Right.
It's the first time I was just like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
Yeah,
well now
okay.
I'm ready for next week because I want to know what happens now. You're not like, oh God, I got to turn this off.
It actually felt like it ended on an up note.
Yes,
a
little bit.
But it was very interesting how we only got 2 left. I mean, season's almost over.
Okay.
It's mind blowing how close to the end
Sorry,
we are
Brian.
already. It's
we get Mando tomorrow.
Yeah, we do. I'm sorry. What do we get? There we go.
We had a soundboard that would definitely be on it.
But
what?
Did you see the episode's only like 35 minutes long?
Well, that is not nearly long enough.
No, for a premiere.
Yeah, that is
I
weird.
figured the premiere would be. Yeah, I'm very curious to see. Like when I saw that, I'm like, well, is there any chance maybe they'll drop 2? Like maybe they have like 2:30, like cut one long episode into 2 35-minute episodes or something. And I don't think so. I think they're only dropping
Maybe
one.
that's like Mando's big dick energy. Like you get 35 minutes and that's it, because we know you're coming back.
Right. Well, maybe they don't want to overdose us on Pedro Pascal.
There's
either.
no such thing.
Obviously, because he's in a lot.
There's a terrific, format TikTok basically going all over the place. That's got a clip from which I still need to watch. The Weight of Massive Talent, whatever that Nicolas Cage movie was.
Yeah, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, or something.
And it's just Nicolas Cage looking like, like looking all annoyed, and then it cuts over to Pedro just like smiling. And it's always like the memes are always like, me playing the latest deathcore album to my wife in my car. They've been terrific memes, but.
Yeah, that's been one of the best things from Last of Us 2 is the meme of him when he's leaning against like that post. When he's looking like exhausted, but we know, he's having a panic attack basically. but it's I've seen so many people, doing that, and there's been so many really good ones I've seen. There's also been some bad ones, but that's gonna happen.
Well, I
But
mean,
def-
not the last episode, but the previous one was actually spoiled for Michelle, because there was a
oh,
pivotal scene towards the end that she was just flipping through social media and it was posted,
oh
and it was like
yeah,
posted as like a GIF, so it's just it just runs,
right. Oh,
yeah.
jeez. It's one thing I learned about this show is people really want to spoil it. Like as soon as, I mean, while it's on, people are posting
Wow,
shit about
I
it.
am not in the right. I am in the right circles because I haven't seen any
Yes.
spoilers for it.
Yeah, because you're not on Twitter.
Well,
That's
that's
why.
accurate.
Because that's where I see it. So that's why I'm like, when it gets close to time for it, like same thing I did with Game of Thrones when it was on. Because it was the same thing. People want to, like, the second it's over, people are like, oh my God, here's everything that happened. It's like, yo, West Coast still hasn't gotten this yet.
Like, listen up, fuckos. I'm gonna start calling those people the infected.
Yeah, and it's like also not everybody can watch shit right away. Like that's why I said it's like I understand spoilers are out there, but it's like, maybe give 24 hours. After that, it's free, it's fair game, you know. But at least give people a chance to watch it. Some people got to go to bed early and can't
Exactly.
watch a show or whatever.
This guy usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit.
But it's for sure a show that if somebody hasn't started it yet, it's like, boy, you really probably got to tap dance through a minefield to not get spoilers
Yeah,
for it.
right, for sure.
Especially once memes start dropping and, or like you said with Michelle with a GIF or something, that sucks. So
Them's the breaks of being on social media.
it is, especially if you're behind in a show,
Oh yeah.
Whether it's one episode or six, it's like wherever you're at. That's why I said maybe the most amazing thing I think I've done TV viewing wise was not finding out anything about Breaking Bad before I saw it.
Yeah, that's fascinating to me.
And I didn't start watching Breaking Bad, if you remember, until right before the final season.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, the final season's coming. I guess I'll binge all of the rest of the episodes.
I suppose I should watch this show everyone's talking about.
Nothing got spurled for me. So, I was unlike The Wire, where it got spurled for me when I was about 5 episodes in and somebody online posted just something. And I was like, oh. And I was like, well, then. I mean, still great show and well
Still
worth
great
watching.
show.
But it sucks when you know the ending, basically.
Yeah. Ugh.
Didn't stop me from watching it, but it's still, when you get to that moment, you're just like, yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here's that part I saw.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, and lucky me yesterday. Bro, I slept like such hot garbage, and hence why recording on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's one of them like Sunday deals. I woke up at 2 a.m, had to throw a hot piss, but I felt like I was like throwing up in my mouth. I'm like, I had all this indigestion.
Oh, that sounds like
it was a great time.
Man.
Took some Tums. I tried to go back to bed. I still couldn't. I'm like, fuck, I'm just going to relocate, go to the couch. And oddly enough, sometime middle of the night, Michelle woke up with indigestion, took some Tums. She was like, I'm just going to like sleep on the couch. And then she realized I was already there.
Well, I mean, you had the dog bed out there.
Yeah, it's true. It looks cozy.
Yeah, she could have kicked you over there or something.
I mean, God, getting old sucks, man.
Yeah, no, right?
That's all I can.
Like drinking water gives you heartburn.
Well, it's like that Sunday. That was the day Steve came into town to get his car dropped off, and him and I hung out on my front porch. Had a cigar. We had a couple beers. Just talked for a while.
Right. He leaned on you.
He leaned on me, exactly. Sensually.
Naturally.
I mean, it was a nice little Sunday, but I think the couple beers and the smoke, I think it fucked me. But I don't know why she had indigestion. I don't remember what we had for dinner that
Same
night.
reason.
Yeah, she's out there just puffing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was it sucked, man. And then I got a few hours of sleep, and I'm like, I'm not calling off again because I didn't sleep. I can't do this again.
Yeah.
So yeah, work was, whatever. I made it. I made it through the day, but by the time I got home, I'm like, there's no way.
Right.
Like there's no way I'm not gonna make it. I mean, I think we went to bed at like 8:30 yesterday. Yeah,
Jeez.
I know. Woke up today feeling like a goddamn newborn baby.
Well,
Until I
hope
went to
so.
work
Yeah.
and it beat the shit out of me, and now I'm home feeling like I'm dying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I said earlier, getting old sucks.
Right. Well, I'm glad you're back to normal then.
Yeah.
Don't need you going around with that, like, all that energy. That's no
That's
good.
true. That's true. I felt pretty good when I woke up.
You
That's for sure.
can't be walking around with like hope.
Yeah, exactly. Hope and a pep in my step.
Yeah.
Nah.
That's right.
Hard pass on that one.
Yep.
Yeah, it's weird.
You get to work, they just kick you right in the dick to start the day. And like, all right, now the mood
Yeah,
is
all right,
set.
boys, let's do this.
Let's go. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So Saturday we hung out, recorded some crazy stuff for our Patreon.
It's coming, boys. Patreon listeners.
Yep. We got us a big New Yorker pizza.
Oh, wait, slow down. You got to rewind us a little bit.
Oh, all right.
First, we went to our favorite dive bar, formerly favorite dive bar, to just get disappointed and have a couple cheap PBRs.
Yeah.
What happened to that place, man?
I don't know. It's weird. I don't know if like COVID killed it or what, but it just the last 2 times we've been in there, it just doesn't feel the same.
I
mean, it looks the same.
Oh yeah, it
looks
the same. I think
even the beer menu.
Yeah, I was gonna say the tab menu was trash.
Yeah, because it was all like, here's all the domestics, but it's like, I wonder if maybe that's what it's kind of becoming.
I mean,
is just the local bar where people come in and have their Bud Light and
when we walked in,
whatever.
It was like 6 old dudes.
It really felt like it really did feel like walking into a dive bar.
Oh yeah.
Like the one where it's like a bunch of single people where they don't really talk. They're just there to drink their beer and then they leave, kind of depressing.
Yeah, it was weird. Because I mean, back in the day when we used to go to Rocky's a lot, it was definitely a younger crowd that went in there.
Yeah.
And
it was a good mix most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, there was old people, but it was, I mean, I think if you're looking at the average, it would skew towards younger.
Yeah, probably.
Or our age, at least, younger.
Right. Yeah.
And it was.
It felt like we were 2 of the probably younger people in that place.
Saying something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, aside from the bartender, she was, clearly younger than us, I would guess.
Assume. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, there was a small group of, youngins that came in as we were leaving, but that was still 7 something at night.
Yeah, that's why I said I think it was still early. A lot of times the young folk don't show up until like 9 o'clock or whatever. So maybe that's what it is.
Either that or there's somewhere else that they're going.
Yeah, which is very possible. There's a lot of places to go. Like you don't even have to go to a bar anymore. There's lots of restaurants that have good bars and good food and all that stuff. So you could go just post up at one of those.
I think the lack of kitchen killed it too.
Yeah, I think so too. Because I don't, like we saw nachos come out was the only food we saw come out. Oh, and they told me on Facebook that they were hoping to get, things going again. So I don't know. I never thought to ask while we were there to see kind of what the range is of stuff. But I was with you because that's what kind of killed it for us. Because that was one of the things that was awesome about going there. Is like, hey, let's go have some pints. Usually I'd grab some pizza.
Yeah, and the pizza there was fucking really good.
Right.
Yeah. It's you make me sad. Because like if I want to go have a couple beers and not worry about eating, I would. I don't have my koozie with me. I'd much rather go to the Orchard Inn because they have great beer selection.
Yeah, or we could go right up the street to Pavlov's.
Yeah, or from your house, Pavlov's.
Yeah, so that's the thing is it's like it's easy for Pavlov's to become like it is the neighborhood bar kind of up
Yeah.
here because there's not a lot of competition. There's only them and what do you call it? Well, there's a place right across the street,
Oh, the
but
ranch house or whatever.
yeah, that place is a
Oh,
dump though.
I meant to tell you, and I totally forgot. I was looking at Facebook for some reason like a month ago.
Because
I
you love
do.
it.
It's amazing. And I got some sort of weird targeted ad from the Cocoa House.
Oh
And it's
yeah,
like
right.
under new management. And it was like a photo of all these you know, like once upon a time they're probably the queens of their what whatever. I don't know, the queens of the
Yeah,
bingo hall or some shit. They're definitely
yeah,
some like white trash cougars. They're like, here's our hot staff. And I'm like, oh my God. And
oh boy,
and I was just like, next time Brian and I go for beers, we should go to the Cocoa House and check it out to
for
see what
sure.
the new management's all about.
See the hot staff, and I mean I haven't had a Cocoa House pizza
I
in forever,
totally
so
forgot about it, or that could have been our first stop Saturday.
yeah.
Because honestly, then we could have went up the road and I could have filled a growler at
True.
Pavlov's or whatever.
Yeah.
But whatever. Hindsight's always 2020. But
Right.
yeah, Rockies is I don't know. I mean, my
Yeah.
boy Mike lives right over there. And
Yeah.
we were going to go to Rockies one day just to have a couple beers. That was the day I went to the Orchard Inn, but they didn't open till super late. That's why we went for the Orchard Inn because we wanted to,
Oh,
we didn't want to make
yeah.
it a late evening. We wanted to have a couple beers and go home.
Right.
So I don't know, man. It's weird. Like that. I thought when I moved into this house, I was like, man, I'm gonna be at Rockies a lot more because it's at the other end of my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Well, I really think COVID really kicked him in the dick, because the first time I went there post COVID, or not post COVID, I mean, obviously COVID still exists, but post lockdown and everything, it was dead in there. And like you said, it's like, I don't know if people are just going somewhere else. It's very possible, maybe the crowd just moved to a different place or something, or who knows, maybe there was a falling out with some people there, who knows how it is. Because I know a lot of times when we were there later and there were a lot of people, they were like post work
Yeah.
people, like they were coming in fresh off whatever, like the one tattoo place that's just down the street from there. When that place would close, like everybody from there would come up there because I recognize a couple of them. And so I maybe, I don't know, maybe that stuff's changed too. Who
Well, I
knows?
could
I
tell
don't
you
know.
if
It's just
the
definitely something,
tattoo studio that they moved that are out in Sylvania now. Yeah.
right? Which that could have something to do with it. Maybe they don't go there. Maybe that has some. But we were there early enough; they wouldn't have been there
Right.
anyway.
Right.
Because those were the ones that I'd see coming in around whatever time they close. There's usually a few of them. Like one guy that's a DJ. He was in there all the time. And I know if you saw him, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Like if you didn't know better, you'd swear the guy was like an owner because he would go behind the bar and stuff like that.
Right.
So he was, but ones like that, like nobody in there. I didn't recognize any of the people in there.
I recognized
either.
one, that old black guy.
Did you?
Because
Oh,
I've
okay.
seen him in there. He's for sure regular.
Yeah, he probably lives right around
Yeah.
the corner or something.
So I've seen him in there multiple times. I'm not in Rockies a lot, but I've seen him there a lot.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting too because it's like there are a few dive bars in there. I wonder if that what's the name of that place, the Night Owl or whatever? Do they have alcohol or is it just
They
food?
do. They have I think they have alcohol.
Because I was gonna say that might have
I
something
still
to do
haven't
with
been
it
in
too.
there
I could
yet.
see,
Yeah.
I could see people maybe heading over there because it's new and hot.
Right up the alley from Rockies is the 19th hole too.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yep. That place has been there
Place a
forever too.
fucking
Yeah.
dump, but
Oh, it's a dump for sure. Like I said, the only reason I ever went there was I used to go there with my brother and his friends because any beer was like $2. And that was before the craft beer
I was
shit,
like, if it's still
but it
that
was
way, we're
still,
going.
yeah, I'm sure it's not now, but it was any beer was like $2 and that included like Corona and all that, where everybody else charged like 3 for a Corona at the time or whatever. So they used to some of them used to drink Corona, so they always would want to go there. And you know, they have like a pool table in there. So if it wasn't in use, they would play pool or whatever. But, you know, I just go drink $2 beers.
Man, it's a solid move.
Yeah. Although my beer selection was not great at the time, but you know,
what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just weird going in there again. Like so it's gonna be less and less for me.
Yeah. I wonder, like, if we hit a little later, what it looks like. You know, I do wonder if we hit around 9 o'clock, what it looks like in there.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I'm saying this, and
Yeah.
I'm just realizing I'm just contradicting how I feel about bars, because I hate it when it gets so loud you can't talk.
Right.
I guess it's just like it's a classic Brian. See, I'm tired. Brian Regan.
Yeah.
It's not what I'm used to.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's like you want some life in the bar though. Like you don't want to walk, like here's the thing. This is the best way I can put it for people. When we walked in there, I felt like we walked into Moe's.
yeah, it's accurate.
Because everybody was kind of, like I said, it felt a little dank and depressed. And I mean, the dank is, you know, normal, but just everybody was kind of to themselves for the most part. Like there weren't really a lot of conversations going on amongst those at the bar. And, you know, when we've been in there in the past, there's usually a little more of a liveliness to things.
Right.
You know, and there were a couple people in there that were lively and, you know.
To the point of being annoying.
I was just going to say it to the point that we didn't want them there anymore. But, you know, including the guy that just had to sit right next to me.
Exactly. It's like, you know, stepping right next to you in a urinal.
Yeah. The guy who, when the guy came out of the bathroom and didn't turn the light off, and he looked that way and was like, turn the light off. I was like, okay, buddy, are you paying the bills?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I got an idea. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids
these days. Yeah, I was, I don't know, man. Makes me sad, I guess. But it is. Yeah. That's fine. It is. You know, we had our one beer each.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, I think we would have had a second, but that guy that sat next to me, and it was just like, I think we're just getting one.
He killed the mood.
We're getting out. Yeah, like he just wouldn't shut his yap.
Yeah, exactly. He was like flipping his flapper to the bartender, and
trying to chat her up, and it's like, buddy, you don't like just stop it.
Yeah, like I can't. I don't remember what her sweatshirt she was wearing was, but she was, you know, walking away from, nice sweatshirt, Just like, oh God.
Yeah. Like you said, he's clearly a regular because as soon as he sat down, she just brought drinks to him. She didn't even ask him what he wanted. This is Bud Light, and I don't know what else he got. I'm guessing a shot of Jack. That'd be my guess. You know, because that's
Jameson's
right
or something.
Yeah, that's right for that crowd. Yeah. So anyway.
Well, from there, that's when we checked out the hut.
Yeah, we went into the only Pizza Hut in the area that you can still go in and dine in at. Like all the rest of them around here are carry out and delivery only, as far as I know.
As far as I know too,
yeah. And boy, you know, we're standing in line, and for some reason it was like the people in front of us were waiting on something, and it was like, I don't know why they didn't move them aside and ask us, like, hey, are you just, because we would have been booming out of there.
Oh, for sure.
You know, because you'd already paid. It was just picking it up and getting the fuck out of there. You know, there was no, you know, we didn't need to pay or linger around for any amount of time.
Oh, boy, did we linger.
Yep. Almost got ran over by the one server, you know, trying to get through. I really think if we wouldn't have parted ways, I think she would have just trucked us.
Probably. She looked the type.
Yeah, she was going pretty aggressive. She looked
aggressive. A little rough around the edges.
Yeah. Everybody working there that night did.
Oh, we got to talk about the lady who handed us our pizzas, of course.
Yeah. I mean, I felt safer in there because of the guy in front of us, because, you know, his shirt says he fights back and protects his family.
For sure, yes.
And he had fatigues on, which went great with his tennis shoes.
Amazing.
Because nothing says, you know, I'm a soldier, like rocking tennis shoes with your camo pants.
Maybe he should fight back the urges to go back for an hour sandwich I don't know. He wasn't. Yeah. He was. He looked like a roly poly a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I was whatever. I don't understand those shirts, and stuff like that when people wear that stuff. And it's just like, okay, great. Your shirt, the back of your shirt says I fight
Yeah.
back. So if I've got your back, you're already in a deficit.
Yeah.
Right? Like anyone who knows anything about fighting knows, like you watch UFC, the last thing you want is someone to get your back.
That's where he has you, because you jump on his back and he's like, ah, and he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, but
yeah,
anyway.
I haven't seen it in a while, but there's a guy I work with that every once in a while wear a shirt that's like, I will do undescribable things to defend my family. It's like, God. It's like, just.
And you know how it is. It's usually the ones who yell the loudest are the weakest.
Exactly.
It's just like, why do you need that? Why do you need to say and do that stuff? That's the part I don't understand. Why do you need to put an aggressive vibe out?
Right, exactly.
I just don't understand that as people. Like, why people need to put this aggressive vibe out. Like, no one gives a fuck, dude. No one's threatening you at work. Like, most people are not threatening you anywhere else either.
I think some people see those shirts and they're like, everyone's going to think I'm so fucking cool. It's like, you're not.
And most people don't look at you and think you're cool. Most people look at you and they're just like, oh, God, another one of these
Exactly.
kids.
Oh, boy. Anyone got smell vinegar in the air? Douche.
Yeah. It's like, jeez.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's like, just be cool and get a Spider-Man shirt.
Hell yeah. Plus, like you were saying, it's the guys that are quieter ones you got to worry about. When someone's like, hey, man, I'm going to go punch you in the face, the guy just goes, oh, okay.
Are you?
Okay.
Like, okay, let's do this.
Like, let's go outside right now. Let's go. And he's all calm. You're like, oh, this guy's going to take, he's going to take him apart.
He's going to destroy him. Yeah. Like, that dude's seen shit. Yeah. Because every time you watch one of those videos online, whoever the most aggressive, overbearing one is, usually is the one getting their ass kicked.
For sure.
Even those videos from boxing where you see those guys dancing around and they're, doing all this shit, and then the other guy just one punch and drops him. It's like, this is typically how fights go. And you even hear, I was watching Ridiculousness one night, and Cormier was on there. And he even mentioned it. One of the fights they were showing, and he goes, oh, this guy's getting his ass kicked. He's like, you can always tell. He's like, because he's like, this guy's just loud and everything. He's got no skills. And sure enough, the other guy just boom and hits him and drops
all
him.
Bark, no bite.
Yep. Yeah. And that's what he was saying, basically, is like, you can just tell, like, this dude, like, if you can throw, like, if your hands are real, you don't have to brag them up.
Yeah.
You just let your hands talk, And by that, I mean puppet show.
Oh, hell yeah. Now we're talking. About time the shit got interesting.
Anyway, moving on from those idiots.
But we got to move on to a different idiot. She was a nice enough lady.
Yeah, I was saying I wouldn't call her an idiot.
But I could for sure park my bicycle in them choppers.
Yeah.
Oof.
Maybe she's a vampire.
What, an underbite vampire?
Yeah. The others just haven't come in yet.
Makes sense. Yeah, this lady, for those of you who don't know, my last name is High, as in High. Right. And I've said this a million times in my life. Yes, I've heard them all.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, I'm here to pick up pizza. She's like, yeah. She had a weird voice too. Probably smokes like a fucking pack and a half a day.
No, she just eats them.
Yeah, actually, a giant gap is all the teeth got knocked out from smoking pipes.
Yep.
But she's like, what's your name? And I, hey, Tony, hi. She goes, just starts laughing her ass off.
Yeah, she's just to herself, and we're just like,
yeah. And she was probably what, like 5 foot tall. She was tiny.
Maybe. Yeah, she was pretty short.
And she's like, I probably shouldn't say it. And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Just what? So I hit her with that. I've heard them all. What do you got?
Right. And we both at that point, I think, knew, we knew exactly where it was going,
And she leans in real close. She's like,
yeah.
I was going to say, I wish I was high right now. And she's like, maybe in a few hours.
Yep, and I don't doubt it. She
Oh my
probably.
God. I mean,
It wouldn't shock me at all if like the whole group that works there just gets ripped
oh,
after
for
work.
sure.
'Cause I probably would too.
Yeah, dealing with pizza people all day.
Like, I mean, back when I worked the video store, man, that's what we did after work. I mean, some got high, but most of us were just getting drunk.
I mean, from being in there for just a brief moment myself, back of house kitchen it's like a pirate ship. So,
Yeah,
so yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And the thing is, it's not really back of house. It's kind of just off to the side. Like
you can still see in there, yeah. But I don't know if you're looking at some of the people that are back there. They had probably all had scurvy.
That's why I said it's always funny when you go to any sort of a restaurant and you see people come out from the kitchen and you're like, oh God, I hope they weren't making the food.
Right. Pirate ship.
But exactly. But like we said when we were at Village Idiot,
oh my God.
We saw that dude who made the pizzas and we're like, I don't know about this guy, but man, that was some delicious pizza. Whatever he squeezed from his beard into it must be the magic elixir.
Yes, exactly.
Just a little Earl from his beard, and it's like, that's what it is. And we're just like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Magic. Oh, because he was a wizard. Look at the beard.
Yeah. You're right.
Pizza wizard.
Yeah.
We once had a pizza samurai in our life. Now we have a pizza wizard.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was weird because inside the restaurant wasn't busy, but they looked pretty busy in there as far as like.
So busy.
They were hustling. Yeah. So the weirdest thing in the night, like even after the other two things, the weirdest thing in the night to me was still the fact that there was a DoorDash driver picking up food there. And I'm like, Pizza Hut delivers. The only thing I can think of is one of two things. One, they were outside of Pizza Hut's radius to where Pizza Hut won't deliver to them, but maybe a DoorDasher will, Or two, maybe they've got like a credit for DoorDash and they just really were craving some Pizza Hut.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Something, yeah. But it's like otherwise, I'm like, Pizza Hut delivers. Why would you pay more money to have it delivered?
Like, what are you doing exactly?
Right. Well, even like I told you, if I order from Little Caesars to have it delivered, that comes through DoorDash. So I don't go through DoorDash's app. I use Little Caesars app or website to order because you still have access to like their deals. Whereas through DoorDash, you really don't. Like the deals are not very good.
We need a Brian's Pizza Pro Tip corner.
Yeah. Well, I just the one night I went on Little Caesars website and it said something about like delivered through DoorDash, or the first time I had it done, it was through DoorDash. I'm like, oh, I'll just order through DoorDash next time. And when I pulled it up and I'm like, yo, hot and ready's are like $1 or something more.
Like this is bullshit, boys.
And I have to pay DoorDash's service fee.
Double bullshit.
Like, well, what's going on here? I don't like this. I mean, you still have to pay the service fee either way.
Yeah, of course.
But the pizzas are a little bit cheaper. Or at least they were. Maybe they're not now, but they were. Like a hot and ready was whatever they advertised the price at versus through DoorDash, a hot and ready, just a regular hot and ready was like $7. Right. And it was like, wait a minute.
They're like, am I getting 1.5? What's going on here?
No, right? It's like, am I getting the extra most bestest? Because if so, I don't mind. Because, it's loaded with pepperonis.
And it's extra most bestest.
Right.
But yeah, then we came back to my joint. Obviously we can't spoil the Patreon videos, but we made 2 videos. One of us talking about the big New Yorker and our experiences, past and present. Yeah. And the other one was us comparing an old fashioned to a beer fashioned after an old fashioned. And then we just went into some sort of weird tangent and made like an hour-long video. So enjoy that one, Patreon people. And I'm actually...
And enjoy all the appearances from the various animals.
What I'm going to do, too, is since I recorded it on the camera, I used my audio recorder. In fact, this one right here. To record the audio is on Patreon. I'll put up the video and the audio in case you don't want to watch the video. So I know Cheeto was saying sometimes it's hard for him at work. And I'm like, well, that's an easy fix. I just put it up 2 posts. No big deal.
It sounds like bullshit to me. He should just say, "Hey, what are you gonna do? Fire me? Like, do you know how much money I make this place?
Yeah, he's right.
Do you know
Do
who
you
I
know who
am?
I am?
I'm the guy that doesn't bring pepperoni rolls to his
Yeah,
friends."
that's the guy, all right.
I keyed.
But yeah, I'm working on that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I see at my work this week, I might have a light week coming up, so I'll have some time to do some editing, maybe.
All right. Well, that's nothing wrong with that, I guess.
I like money though, Brian. I do.
Do you? Oh yeah, forgot.
That's okay.
Well, that's too bad.
But we do, as I was saying when you were here Saturday, we got to do stuff like that more often. Not just for Patreon. I mean, I love you people, but just the hang.
The hang. Yeah, because even doing this, it's great, but it's not the same.
Yeah, exactly. As the
whether
hang.
It's, as the hang.
Oh man.
That's just what we should just reboot this podcast and just call it the hang.
I mean, that could be season 2.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we just rebrand.
The hang.
600 episode, but it's got to be after like a weird number, like 617 or 632. It can't be a nice round, like, it can't be like 600 or 650. It's
I agree.
We ever end the podcast, it has to be on a weird number.
Yes.
That's all I don't want us to end like, okay, we've hit 1,000. That's good. It's like, nope, 999. We're done.
997.
Right. What are we, Walmart? Gotta roll it back.
Gotta roll that shit back.
Yeah. Or 1,001.
Yeah, 1,001. But the one episode's like 10 minutes long.
Yeah, the last one. It was like, peace out, bitches. That's
we out.
Giving you
on Friday, I got to go see Leah's schools do a musical.
Yeah.
That was an adventure.
Yeah, those usually are, because usually they're not great.
Well, I mean, Leah's school is very small.
Yeah.
So the musical involved the high schoolers all the way down to kindergartners.
Right.
Which was interesting.
All 7 of them, yeah.
If the kindergartners decide to revolt, it'd be a problem. But it's the classic scenario. If you fight 100, 6-year-olds or whatever, you drill the first one in the face, all the rest scatter.
Yeah.
You hope.
You hope their eyes just don't turn black or whatever.
Yeah. They start screeching and getting down on all fours.
Yeah. Well, this didn't go the way I thought.
All in all, I mean, the kids did a good job. I can't knock that. I mean, I'm not a big musical guy as is, and they wrote it themselves, so that made it. It's not like they're using an established thing.
Okay, so at least you can't go, well, that was terrible, because you don't really know, I guess. But
yeah.
Also, wow.
But I mean, I've got a couple notes about it.
Yeah.
Right when I first walked in, because it's up in Monroe, I'm like, I gotta take a hot piss before I go into this musical.
Sure.
Walked into the bathroom, and as I got a corner of my eye, I see a very short person with shoulder-length hair, and I'm like, I'm in the wrong bathroom. But this person was also standing at the urinal. It really did. It was a mind fuck.
Yeah.
It was just some old guy with long hair. Wow, but he was so like slight and small, and the hair was so long and like luxurious looking.
Did you go up and brushing his hair while he was
just
That's
twirl
a power
it.
move right there. Yeah. Yeah. Because that's a power move.
Yeah, I thought I was in the women's room for sure. But then I was like, wait, there's urinals. We're good.
Probably not.
Probably not. You never know.
You never know. Out of curiosity, have you ever done that? Have you ever gone in the wrong bathroom?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. On purpose?
No.
Well, let's just see what's going on in here.
It hasn't happened often. Usually it's when I'm, got a little drinky drinks on. But it's definitely happened before.
Yeah.
Like
I've done it where like those places where you go and it's like turn right is the women's, turn left is the men's, and I just go the wrong way and like, oh shit. As soon as I walk in and see no urinals, I'm like, oh, this probably isn't it. Either that or this is a heavy dumping area.
Or it's like a basket of potpourri on the sink.
Yeah. That's usually not the men's
Not
room.
usually.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say the last time I did it, it was because the doors weren't like, they were labeled, but not in a very obvious way. Like,
Yeah.
like, oh, we're going to be eclectic and cool and have like, a bolt on our door, and this one's going to be a washer or something, It's something stupid like that.
Right.
Yeah. Anywho.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I had where I was sitting, I got a nice view of the stage, and it was perfect because at the end of one of the segments, they were trying to clear the stage, and I watched some kid go sprinting across the stage and just eat shit. That was really funny. And it was like he hit the ground. It was like boom, and all the crowd was just like, ooh.
Right.
So that was pretty awesome.
Right.
But the real highlight of the night was guy or whatever he was doing.
Jeez. Yeah.
I guess I could play it if you wanted me to, but I have to like trim it in real quick. But after every song, after every act, this guy was just like, whoa! Like, no, that's too cool. It's like Ric Flair.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
That
was too Ric Flair. Mm-hmm.
And it was so loud that I had to like start plugging my ear. It was horrible, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why.
It reminds you of the people that clap at the end of movies.
Yeah.
And you're like, what are you doing? They can't hear you.
You're just doing that for yourself.
It's not like somewhere Chris Pratt's going, I can feel them clapping
he
for
just
me.
sits up straight. You guys feel that?
Yeah. Someone is watching one of my movies and clapping.
I should start doing that anytime I go to theater. When credits roll, just like slow clap, like.
Yeah. Like that was a tour de force. No matter, especially like when you see
I mean, that was a tour de force.
Right.
To be honest.
Oh, man.
Yeah. All in all, the musical, I mean, yeah, Leah did a good job. I was glad when it was over. I'm not going to lie.
Well, that's pretty much what I hear from parents when they have to go to anything their kids have done, basically like that, is it's like, well, I was glad it was over. Because they're usually like 4 hours long, because you have to go through class after class, by the time you're done. And, you don't want to be that person who, like your kid is on first and you're like, all right, see ya.
Well, and there's this one moment, because I remember Leah, tell me about they're like, I'll come back to it. Hold on. There's this one kid that he was in his barbershop quartet. And do you remember, Brian? I don't remember where it spawned from, but when you're doing like, there's the stereotypical bad actor, you would kind of talk like this. Like, I don't remember where that came from, but something you and I used to do all the time when we were younger.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
And there was a kid that was just like, I'm the head of my fraternity. And I'm like, that's hilarious.
You're like, buddy, you're over.
Yeah.
Like, it's, what, it's funny. It didn't start with this, but the best way I can give it to people is if you're familiar with Calculon on Futurama.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you go.
How he's such a ham and he's overacting everything. That's what it was. I think, like, I don't know what it was. Like, for me, it's similar to like when you watch movies from like the 50s.
Right.
When they all have that cadence to them and everyone talks like the same. All the guys talk the same. And
I
it's
think
like,
they called that the Atlantean accent or something like that. It's like the Atlantic accent or.
Right.
I hate that, Missy.
Yeah. Hey, about it. Yeah.
But so anytime this kid had a line, it was like that. And I'm just like, oh, this kid's hilarious. Right.
Now, what would be great is if you found out he was doing it on purpose.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
So there was a part where like Leah's on stage doing, like, Leah was just like a background character. She had a couple lines. But then there's a part when she starts dancing. And I remember her telling me, like, she's like, oh, they're making me dance with my friend whose name I'll leave out of this.
Right.
And I'm like, why is that weird? They're like, I don't know. We're just such good friends. And, he doesn't really want to do it anyway. I mean, he's kind of like low-key autistic. And I'm like, oh, no. So that's why all the lines were delivered.
Right.
Like, but the whole time I'm like, this kid's hilarious.
Yeah.
I felt like a real asshole.
Yeah, well, I don't do it.
I'm like, oh, no. That's the kid that I thought was so funny, but he's autistic. Oh, man.
I mean, it still might be funny, you know. Like I said, if he's doing it, like it would be hilarious if he was like, "Oh yeah, I was totally hamming it up," you know, like because I didn't want to do it, so I was, you know, that then it would be
I
hilarious.
don't know anymore, Brian.
But
I
probably
didn't
not.
ask.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Because it would be very funny if you had some kid that's just like, I don't give a shit about this, and it's like I'm gonna go out there and just, you know, use my incredible acting talent.
acting like John.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah,
gonna say,
John
Lovitz. Yep,
Lovitz.
yep.
I mean, I felt bad for some of the kids because you could, like the girl that was playing one of the leads, you could just tell she was so nervous
Oh
because you know
yeah, I
I'm
bet.
up in like the side boxes, so I got an overhead view and I can see
Right.
her.
You got a nice scope view.
Fuck yeah,
Yeah, I get you.
exactly. I'm
Yeah,
up in the rafters,
right in the perch. Yeah.
and like I can hear it in her voice, and I can see her hands, and she's just like grabbing on her like dress and shit. I was
Oh,
like, oh, I felt so
dude.
bad for her.
It sucks, but it's
It's
also
growing.
it's exposure therapy,
Yeah.
right? Like it's probably a little bit good for you, even though it's terrifying. You just hope that it's not like panic attack
I
inducing,
mean,
but
she made it through.
otherwise, like right.
So,
Like I remember doing that when we were kids, you know, when we had to get up and sing in front of the whole school and parents and all that shit. And I was always like, I can't sing. I have no business being up here. And I was always so
oh yeah.
nervous. But it was good to do that occasionally, you know, or even good Lord, even worse was like when I was in the spelling
All
bees,
right.
because you're the only one standing up there. And on top of that, you either get you get a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And by thumbs down, I mean, you know,
Executed like the Coliseum.
yeah, and you're
Yeah.
shot. Yeah. Luckily, I was perfect.
I mean, that would be the best thing to do as a spelling bee judge is dress up like a Caesar. And just still
Yeah.
stand up and do the slow.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, that was some of the most like standing up in front of class like when I was in college to defend my artwork was hard enough, you know, because you know, you put a lot of yourself into work
Yeah.
sometimes and then you have people in your class that usually are pretty respectful because they know if they're nasty to you, you're probably going to tear them apart and you know, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I can be pretty fucking vicious sometimes. So people usually kind of were nice to me, but um it was you know, that was nerve wracking. But man, the spelling bee stuff was way worse because there's a room with hundreds of
Yeah.
people in it staring at you, you know, and you don't want to look like an idiot for especially if it's an easy word. You know, you don't want to go out on so like they're like spell beard and you're like BR
Shit.
like,
You said
damn it.
weird, right?
Yeah. Oh man. Can you use it in a sentence? Yeah, fucking spell beer. Oh, okay. Country of origin. Your mother. Like, this is a weird
Emphasis
spelling
on
bee.
cunt in country.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I whenever I see kids doing that, I always
Oh,
feel
yeah.
so bad for them because I
Same.
remember
You have like
going
a
through that,
traumatic
you know?
flashback. Oh.
Yeah, right. Dude, one of the happiest things that happened to me in elementary school was that I got chicken pox and didn't have to go to camp because that meant I didn't have to square dance in front
Oh
of
man,
everybody.
you missed out on some square dancing fun.
Yeah, I was so disappointed. I seriously, even looking back, I don't
I
regret
have one camp highlight that I still remember, besides the song John Jingle, Jacob Heimer Schmidt.
man.
Is I remember this kid in my class who was just an asshole to everybody. And one of the things they got to go do was like you got to make a wooden mallet. You know? And I remember he hit the wall of the cabin for some reason with it. And the top of it came off
Yeah.
and hit him in the face. And that was just a beautiful moment.
Oh, that's karma right there. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it was pretty terrific. Yeah.
good. Yeah, I just remember it was like you know we're set to go to camp, and like the day before I think it was, yeah, because we were supposed to leave on a Monday I think, and that Sunday I was with my brother because we were supposed to go to a baseball card show, and I was at
A
my
chicken
grandma's
pox
house.
convention.
Yeah, and I woke up and I was like, "Man, I'm itchy." And I go in and look in the bathroom and I see, red spots on my face and I'm like, "What the hell?" And as soon as my grandma saw me, she goes, "Oh, you have chicken pox." And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "Yep, you have chicken pox." And luckily her and my brother had also had them. So, although, you never know with like
Yeah.
shingles and whatnot, but especially her because she was old enough that, but yeah, and then I got to spend the week at home, and after the contagious part was over, and I was feeling a lot better and everything. It was like my mom and I went to like Major Magics one day and a park the next day. Like it was like a
Like, hell yeah,
vacation.
brother.
I just sat and played with toys pretty much and watched cartoons for a week while everybody else was off doing dumb shit at camp that I have no interest in because, as you well know, I am not an outdoorsy guy. I never have been an outdoorsy guy. It's never been my bag. So I was like, oh, and so everyone's coming back and they're talking about it, and the teachers, boy, you missed out. I'm like, no, I
You
didn't.
don't want to be in a
Especially
you don't want to be in a
once I heard it.
it's like you don't
Go
want to
ahead.
be in a line of kids riding horses and
Yeah.
the horse in front of you's ass just opens up and shits everywhere. Because I
No.
got to experience that. That
I
was
will
great.
say though, see, from all the traveling we did at some of the shows we did, we were around a lot of Amish people, so I did get that experience. It just wasn't on the horse. It was just
The
as you're
Amish were
walking.
shitting.
Yeah, you know how they do is they walk around the streets.
They don't have plumbing. They don't know any better.
No, the horses. There's just road apples everywhere when you're in some of those. I mean, because of like up where your mom's cottage was.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There. There's
You know how many
just
times I went over a hill at like midnight and I was smoked an Amish buggy?
Yeah,
It's like, why the fuck are you people out this late? But they would be.
they would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I got to skip the whole thing. And then when I heard they were like, this Friday everyone's gonna have to blah blah blah, and I'm raising my hand, I'm like, and they're like, yeah, not you didn't go, and I'm like, yes.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can write a report about how awesome skee ball is.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I can write a report on how, air quote, terrible chickenpox was for me. I mean, in fairness, I did have them really bad.
Yeah.
So they were not fun by any means, but, not that they are usually, but I mean, I had them on like the bottoms of my feet and up on my face and like every uncomfortable area you could have them pretty much. So it was pretty brutal for a few days, but after about 3 or 4 days, they lightened up big time and then I was fine. So.
Man, see, my big school trauma with like sickness related was I was so excited too. We were going to go to Detroit to see dinosaur bones at the Natural History Museum.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And I was fucking Jimmy Jurassic Park.
Right.
Way before Jurassic Park was started. I love dinosaurs.
Yeah, right.
Wouldn't that be the same day that I was scheduled to not be in school because I had to get my tonsils out? I was so upset.
Dude, I got mine taken out. You know how like right before Christmas break they would have like in high school they had was it like the talent show kind of thing?
Oh yeah.
That day was the day I had to have my tonsils taken out because my parents were like, well, if you're going to have it done, it's best to do it over Christmas break because then you won't really have to miss, I'd miss one day of school and it was that day. So it's not even,
that day doesn't really count.
Oh, it's not like you're doing any schoolwork. So I missed that. And so over Christmas break, I had to, I had my tonsils out and everything, which really wasn't that bad. It was, a few days where it sucks and then you're fine.
You're fine. I was just, I think I was in like 4th or 5th grade. I was just so traumatized. I couldn't see dinosaur bones.
Yeah, dude. I would have been way more upset if I had to miss out on dinosaur stuff.
Oh, man. I was so pissed
I just had
off.
to miss out on a mostly terrible
Yeah.
talent show. Usually there were a couple bands that were good. Like we had a couple high school bands at Whitmer that were pretty decent, and they usually won because they were basically the only good ones in the talent show.
Right. Yeah, for the most part it sucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
It reminds you of like the end of Bill and Ted, everyone's doing their presentations.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of for some reason. San Dimas High School football.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
If only. That would have been great.
Man, I haven't seen Bill and Ted in a while. I might have to fire that bitch up.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen a new one.
I haven't either because I've not heard great stuff.
I mean, I have to do the trilogy now.
Yeah, I guess.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe we could do that, Brian. We'll do the trilogy and then report back.
Yeah.
Be a long ass Saturday.
It would be. Yeah. It's a lot of Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted.
Or we could just watch John Wick movies.
Hell yeah.
Pretend it's Bill and Ted.
Nice.
I mean, we got half of it. We'll just call his dog Ted.
I like it.
Yep. Keep asking me if I'm back. Well, I'm thinking I'm back.
Oh, man, I'm trying to see if I got anything else on my list here, my guy.
Nope.
You're actually right. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm fucking tapped out.
I have a couple.
Michelle's actually go ahead. Michelle sent me some links. I forgot all about it. I told her anytime you see a fun link, just because she'd always tell me about it. I'm like, just send it to me. And,
right.
Hey, go ahead. I'll start pulling them up.
It's so difficult to do these days. It's.
I mean, you're right.
Yeah. So this first one, I just saw this yesterday. And it said that future Fords, meaning the cars, could repossess themselves and drive away if you miss payments.
What?
That was something I never thought about in the event of, like, if you miss your payments on a car, if it's a self-driving car, they literally could tell the car to come back.
Yeah.
And it could just drive itself back.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I never considered that either.
Yeah. I never thought about that. And it says, alternatively, the car could drive itself to a junkyard if it costs too much to repossess it. Isn't that insane? Like I said, I would have never thought of something like that, but it does make sense, because then you don't have to pay a repo person and have to fight with, like someone I know that had a car repossessed and they hid it in their garage for a while so that they couldn't actually repossess it, and all that. And it's, just the annoying shit that these places have to deal with to get their cars back. And I know a lot of if you go through the will finance anyone type car dealerships, they put a lock on the car. And if you don't make your payment, like the second it's late, it locks your car and you can't get into it, or you can't drive it. Like it locks the column or something like that. Because my nephew had one like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And if he like one day he was a day late and he couldn't drive his car, like could not drive it.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah. And as soon as you pay, then it unlocks basically.
Wow.
So this is just another step on that. And can you imagine though, your car just like, fuck you, and takes
that
off?
Is fucking wild. What if your kid's in it or something? I mean, seriously.
Right? I hope there's some way of them clearing that kind of stuff to make sure there's not a person in it or whatever, but
I mean, I know once upon a time when like Jeannie and I were in a really bad way and we were like super poor and we were behind on our car payments. And I told her, I'm like, you got to put the car in the garage if you're not going anywhere.
By the way, I wasn't talking about you when I was.
Oh, I know. I don't even know if you knew this happened to me. I can't remember if I told you this or not.
No, I didn't actually. No.
And so our car was like super, like super late on payments. I kept telling her, you gotta. And I came home from work one day, and I walked in the house, and she's sitting on the couch. And I'm like, "Where's your car?" Oh, it's in the driveway. I'm like, "No, it's not." And they came and snatched it. Right.
Yeah.
We ended up having to like squirrel together because we almost had it paid off. We had to squirrel together the rest of the money we had and drive to fucking Cincinnati.
Oh yeah, you know what? I remember. I remember that. I forgot about.
Oh my god.
Yeah, fucking Cincinnati.
Because by the time
would it go?
Well, it's like we contacted repo people and they're like, we already took it to this yard over here, and by the time we got the money together, they had already then transported to Cincinnati to go to auction.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so we had to drive down to the auction place.
That's wild. You wouldn't think they'd go. You'd think it would go to like Cleveland or Detroit or something.
There's a massive auction place down there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That explains it.
Because actually, Mike, my buddy, his dad used to drive cars down to it for as like a side job. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Fair enough. A shit show that was, though. God, I was so mad.
It was the same. the same reason the story I talked about. It was like, yeah, they were hiding the car in the garage basically because, and only, and even just driving it, you're at risk because they could
Oh yeah,
follow
for
you,
sure. Yeah, I was
but
so pissed off when I walked the door. She's just sitting on the couch. Like, why the fuck don't? Well, never mind.
But yeah, that's why I said I saw this, and at first I thought this was a kind of a bullshit story, and then I'm looking into it, and I was like, no, it's actually a real thing, and it makes total sense with potentially self-driving cars. They really could just drive. The other question will be, again, I hope they can access the cameras and make sure it's not in your garage.
Oh,
Can you imagine
yeah.
you just fucking bust like it's the Kool-Aid Man. Comes ramping through your front of your garage or whatever. Like, where's the car going?
Yeah, that's pretty wild, man. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I must return to my planet.
My people, they need me.
Yeah, what the fuck? I don't know if this will ever come to be, but apparently it's something that was the idea for it was submitted to like the patent office, but it's totally plausible.
100%.
With again, especially as we get closer and closer to full self-driving cars, because it wouldn't even have to drive that far. It could drive to a repo person.
Yeah.
And then they could put it up on a trailer or something, but it could eliminate to some extent the danger of their job a little bit.
I could own,
because God only knows what people, somebody might pull a gun on you when you're trying to take
oh
their car.
Man, I mean, every once in a while when I'm on break, Lizard Lick Towing's on, and the amount of drama and fights that happen there, it's crazy. What a wild life those people. God, it's a terrible show.
It is a terrible show.
No, but what I wonder is, like, say you have a Tesla and it decides to repossess itself because you're behind on payments. Will it uncontrollably accelerate through children?
One can only hope.
I mean, that's what they do.
Yeah.
That shit's wild.
Yeah. The idea of it just going to a junkyard is what's even funnier to me.
Yeah, exactly. I am worthless. It's so funny.
But it's also, something that's a little terrifying in the idea that, I mean, obviously, if you put the more and more computers run these cars, obviously there's hackers and such. Yeah. And it was like, it's been around for years where people have hacked cars.
Right.
And it's like, if you get to where you can hack one of these kind of cars, it's a self-driving. I mean, you could literally tell the car to drive somewhere else, and just steal the car that way.
I got a question for you. As a man who doesn't drive.
Yeah.
If self-driving cars technology got better, would that be something you'd be comfortable with?
Yes. Because I wouldn't have to drive.
Like you just buy a car and you just get in it and it takes you somewhere?
Yeah, I could totally do that. I'd be okay with that. But you're right. Like, I really need to know it's not going to plow through children.
Yeah. Uncontrollably accelerate.
Well, I mean, I got places to be. I don't have time for delays.
I think those are the key words, Brian. Uncontrollably accelerate.
Right.
Well, because my problem with, obviously I used to drive for a living. I've put a lot of miles under my belt.
Yeah.
I don't trust the technology yet.
Yeah. Which is understandable.
But at the same time, I'm like, I kind of like driving.
Yeah.
But if they could figure out, if every car became self-driving and they could talk to each other like a flock of birds.
Yes. That's the ideal scenario. Yes.
Yeah.
Because from what I've read, the cars will look for other cars that have self-driving whatnot when they're on like the highway. That's the way they're designed. And they will essentially pack up. Because those cars will behave the way they're supposed to, allegedly. Versus the human element of God only knows what a person's going to do.
Yeah.
Like you can plan it out all you want, but then they drop a French fry and lean down to get it, and next thing you know, they're, pushing another car into the wall,
For sure.
So you can't really anticipate that so much. But a lot of these from what I read, the situation is these are supposed to look for The problem you have is that they're going to look for, probably my guess would be Mac, like Mac would look for Mac, PC would look for PC.
See, that's the
question
thing, is they all
do
have to
they
talk to each other.
Yeah. And I think if they can get it to that point, the problem is that it's going to be a long time before people are willing to completely give up driving, I think.
Oh, for sure. Because I mean, like,
people are going to fight it so long that it'll never get to where it needs to get to be perfect or really good.
I mean, the move would be, and you go through busy cities and they got like the, God, like the commuter lane or whatever. What's it called? When you drive the HOV lane or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Now, if you could just have a lane for just smart cars.
Yeah.
And eventually it'll probably shift to the point when there's a lane for just regular cars.
Yeah.
But now you can't have that because regular cars would be dipping in and out of everything.
Yeah, they'd be all over. They're cutting across 4 lanes. Yeah.
But because, I mean, I get it. Like if I don't, but like my Jeep. I love my Jeep. Yeah. Right? If a world of smart cars happened tomorrow, I'm not going to get rid of my Jeep. I'm still going to want to keep it and drive it in the summertime.
Yeah, I think it's the same argument essentially we're going to have with electric cars.
Yeah.
Is that even if everybody's like, oh, we're only going to make electric cars, and it's like, yeah, but not everybody can afford an electric car. So how long before they're completely phased? I mean, you still see people driving cars, and I don't mean people that have restored or blah, 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 but you still see cars from like the 90s on the road.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what people can afford to drive, and it's like, so until you can make any of this stuff like super affordable and accessible, you're going to have the other fight of, like with self-driving, it's a different type of fight because, obviously you got to be willing to trust the technology, and there's always going to be a contingent of people that won't, like that'll never trust computers.
Well, I mean, eventually those people will like die off.
Well, there's young people that are that way though too. That'll buy into.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that paranoia will never not be there, I think, but it's something that it's going to take so long to filter all that out. That's the other thing I think they're going to have to fight against with the self-driving cars. Is for people like me, it'd be fantastic because my only real issue with being in a car is the concept of driving. I can deal with being a passenger in the car. So it's like what I need to do is just move to one of those towns. Like there's a couple like small cities that were kind of built. I remember reading about one years ago where the whole point of it was they wanted to have cars that were basically constantly going.
Okay.
And they're all electric, and they constantly would go, and basically just like with Uber or whatever, you would just, hey, I need a ride from here to here. Boom, car shows up, drops you off, and goes and picks someone else up. And so you'd have a couple-minute wait whenever. But aside from that, basically, you'd never really have to own a car, never have to drive. And there'd be a set amount of these cars on the road, basically. So you could cut down on the overall, footprint of, because most cities, there's way too many cars on the road. It's part of what's leading to, obviously, traffic jams and also, roads breaking down sooner because we have way too many vehicles on them. So, it was an interesting experiment. I don't know. I've never read the follow-up on it because unfortunately that's how it usually is, right? You're like, oh, here's this, but then you never hear anymore.
Like that was neat. I wonder how that worked out.
Yeah. But that their goal was to see if it would work in a small group, and if so, then maybe try to expand it or try to get it to work in a bigger city. And I know what's his name, Malcolm Gladwell. They did on one of the revisionist history episodes. They did a thing where there were cars that do that, where you just call for one of these cars. They show up. It's a completely driverless car. It shows up, takes you where you need to go, and drops you off.
I remember that episode. Yeah.
And he said they tested it, and they were like, it was too perfect, because the part it can't factor for is, or like people will go, oh, I know the car will stop, so people just step out in front of the car.
Yeah.
And it's like, instead of humans behaving in the safe way, humans became more dangerous around these vehicles.
Well, humans are idiots.
Yeah, that's why I said we're the worst thing ever. Yeah. Like, we're the worst thing that's ever happened.
Top of the food chain, Brian. That's what I say.
Top of the food chain, but bottom of the smart bucket. I mean, that's
Top of the food chain as long as we have our technology.
Yeah, So this other thing was interesting because I've actually seen a couple of these kind of things happen in the last few days. Did you hear about there was like $100,000 or so worth of Magic cards were dumped in a landfill?
I saw that on Imager or something.
Yeah, and apparently people have already, like, I don't know if they, like, some people grabbed some of them.
Why wouldn't you?
Destroyed. Yeah, because it was from the set Modern Horizons 2, which is interesting because some of those, I think those packs are not necessarily like cheap. But anyway, and the valuation was 100,000 low range to about 250,000, and that's without really going by, that's more of the retail price of the packs. So you might hit a card worth a few $100 in there, so that could elevate the price and all that stuff too. But yeah, it says, someone in here says the cards are all under layers of trash. Don't try come looking for some, they're all damaged. But there were people who, I saw pictures of packs and stuff online where they must have gotten a hold of them. But there are a lot of pictures of the cards just destroyed.
I mean, I'd still go.
Yeah, right. And then was it yesterday or the day before, I saw there was a bunch of sealed cases of some Funko Pops that were being dumped. And they're from sets that basically nobody really wanted. And it was like, yeah, I bet they've already tried to make their way through discount stores and just nobody wanted them. Because I read it was a few months ago, that Funko at the end of this past year had twice the amount of stuff in their warehouse that they had the year before, which is a significant problem for them.
Yeah, for sure, right?
That means loss. Yeah. And they actually did recently, they did like a pop-up warehouse where they had a bunch of pops like cheap. And unfortunately it was out in Arizona or something, nowhere near me, of course, but it's probably for the best. Otherwise I might sell a kidney or something. So yeah, this was crazy though, because, and like, people are freaking out, about it and everything. And it was like, the real reason here is pretty simple. It's a tax write-off.
Yeah.
If they destroy product, they can write it off their taxes, type of thing. I mean, they could have just given it to something, but
like in the Reddit post I saw, is a guy was theorizing that probably in the warehouse or in the shipping company, it got smoked by a forklift. And then, people could be like, well, I refuse the shipment because it's damaged. And then the trucking company's like, get rid of it. Like the trucking company pays for it, and then they get rid of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, it was 6 pallets of cards apparently. So yeah, that's pretty wild.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you would assume whoever's dumping it in there either doesn't care or doesn't really know what potential value that is. Because like if someone were like, hey, get these pallets, take them to the dump, and I knew they're Magic cards, I'm like, yeah, I'm on it. Dump them in my backyard.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Well, that's what I was thinking too, because it was like you said, that shows that even if, unless the pallets were significantly damaged, there's beforehand.
Okay, say 20% of the cards are damaged.
Right, there's still a lot of value there. You could throw those on eBay and get something out of them. Or sell them to a local game shop or something like that. Somebody would buy those off you for sure. Yeah, they didn't need to go to the dump. The pops are a little different because, like I said, from what I read, some of the sets that those pops were from, I remember seeing a lot of them, and they just sat. And I was like, yeah, I bet those are ones that like Target was like, yeah, we don't want those. Also because of the shipping delays and stuff for a long time, by the time stores started getting some of those pops back in, I was reading, and this is how Funko ended up with a lot of extras, was like stores like Target, Walmart were like, yeah, we don't want those anymore. We were supposed to get those like a year ago.
You done messed up.
Like when the movie was out, we were supposed to get them. Now nobody's going to want them, so we don't want them. And then Funko's got to just eat them, basically. Right. So, yeah, pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy.
Now you're going to see all these people all these people are gonna be digging around the trash heaps
Let 'em.
now. You know,
Digging around
Yeah.
like goddamn raccoons. Let them.
like, oh man, maybe there's some magic cards in here. Like, yeah, there's probably a bunch of other stuff. The worst part to me, looking at this picture, is the one where it shows the dude with like a handful of cards and he doesn't have a glove on. Like, how you trying to pick up shit from a trash heap and with no glove
Well,
on?
I mean, he probably also is incredibly immune to everything
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah,
because he digs through trash heaps. He's like fucking Charlie. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
Well, I have a couple links from Michelle.
Okay.
She sent in one. Says, police warn. God, this goddamn scroll wheel on this thing even sucks. Police warn locals not to approach man in Cookie Monster costume terrorizing a seaside area.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not trying to approach anyone in a Cookie Monster costume unless they're at like Universal or something like that. You know,
Odds are they
like,
crazy.
Right. Like well, it's either they're crazy or they're gonna try to like, trick me into paying for a picture of them or something like that. Like those people out in Hollywood.
Says he's
Like
bothering people and aggressively yelling. It sounds like Cookie Monster.
Yeah. Was it you? Something you do. Bothering people and aggressively yelling.
I mean, I would wear the costume. It's pretty sweet. I'll be honest.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like a dirty Cookie Monster. An ookie Cookie Monster.
Cookie, yeah.
So she sent that one, and she sent in this one. That is, if I can get there you go. Custom 100-pound laptop has a 43-inch screen.
What? 100-pound laptop?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Like, how's that even a laptop?
I don't know, but it's like there's Gizmodo. The link's on Gizmodo, and it's this little GIF of it's amazing. Honestly, the thing's fucking huge.
It's a huge screen. Jesus. Yeah, because I mean, I'm looking at a 27-inch screen with the one I've got, and a 43-inch screen. Holy shit, man!
It's funny as fuck to see these people using it.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. I mean, the computer I'm on right now is in a steel case.
This looks like it's made of wood.
And this is like 50 pounds. So it's twice the weight of my computer. And this thing's heavy as shit, when you try to move it around. So dang.
Oh, I see.
Impressive.
It says designed and built by YouTube's Evan and Caitlin. It's a custom build that ignores all questions except can we make it happen?
Okay.
So they claim to have made the world's biggest laptop, but Guinness hasn't weighed in on it yet. Weighed in, get it?
Yeah. Well, it's like, have you seen the pictures of? There's a guy that made basically like a flat screen TV into a Nintendo Switch, and it works.
Oh, the one on the wall.
Yeah. Like there's one where the guy like the paddles and stuff work.
Oh, I haven't seen that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think he donated it to like a children's hospital or something like that. But yeah, I've seen the other one too, where it's just like on a wall and like the side things slide out or whatever.
Yeah,
and it looks pretty awesome. But yeah,
good times.
Wow.
I mean, I like it when people do goofy shit like this. It makes me laugh.
Yeah. Wonder, does it say what it cost them to build it?
It did not.
Oh, okay. I would love to know that.
I mean,
I guess you could always use cheap parts, but
from what
the goal is largest, not best.
I mean, from what it looks like, because I could see the wood grain when he opens the laptop. That looks like they just used a TV with a wood back, and looks like there's definitely like a mechanical keyboard in the middle of it, and like a trackpad.
Yeah.
And of course, it's got your RGB gamer lights and shit.
Sure, of course, because why wouldn't you have that stuff?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. I
mean, I see him. He was playing Hades and Elden Ring, so that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fucking hilarious.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty awesome. We need a couple of those.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I have been saying I wish I had a laptop again so I could edit downstairs.
Yeah. Nice 100-pound one would be perfect.
Yeah. I could, do some deep squats, work on my leg game again.
Sure. Yeah.
It's been a while.
Especially anytime you were carrying that thing around.
Oh,
man.
my God. Oh, my God, Brian. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Be impressive. All right. What do you think? Yeah, that's all I got too. So unless you have anything else. All right, well,
No.
let's move into the Q, the W then, I guess.
Q, W.
Mm-hmm.
Last week we asked you, what is worse, homemade? Very simple. I loved it. Instagram. Apparently what's worse, homemade, is answers. We got none on the Instas. Bastard guys. But face page, of course, our Diamond Top fans didn't let us down. Diamond Top fan Kiki, she says haggis, but that's horrible no matter who makes it. Wine?
That's possible, I
mean,
guess.
I've heard some people with, busting out some good, tasty homemade wine.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember when we were growing up, our one neighbor grew it, made it.
Grew it, yeah.
Wine bushes.
Just grew bottles right on the vines.
Wine bushes.
Right.
Diamond Top fan, Big Dev. He says cocktails, only because I don't want to do all that work.
Oh, that's fair.
I mean, I made us a couple old fashions, Brian. Besides me making a mess.
You made an absolute
God,
mess, though.
I felt like a real jerk off making those, but it worked out well. And also, Diamond Top fan, Jeff from Hobie, says dinner. At least it was where I grew up.
That's fair
pretty
too.
Good. That's pretty good.
It's sad. It's very sad.
You make me sad.
Yeah. Hopefully the scenario's improved since
I hope so, right? Heno, he says, I always prefer rack of lamb at a restaurant. Also cocaine.
That's fair.
I mean, you'll have that.
Homemade cocaine seems kind of weird.
Homemade cocaine seems very weird.
Well, if you're doing the cocaine, you should probably not be on your own supply.
Yeah, never get high on your own supply. Biggie said it best, right? Was it Biggie?
I don't know. A lot of people have said it.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then your ma chimes in. Says the people who are preparing foods, they know nothing about and therefore manage to fudge it up. Language?
I know, right? Jeez. I have to ground her.
That's what I got on my end, though.
All right. Well, I've got Cheeto's answer.
All right.
And he says, what's worse, homemade? And he said sin. Guys, I pondered this a bit and I really didn't come up with anything else. Here's what's hilarious. So, you know how Google has the auto responses that you can use for emails? The 3 that it picked for him were love it, yum, and looks great. None of those apply, really.
You know, it's funny you mentioned, I forgot about this. My watch gives auto responses. So when I get a text, I can just pick for some keywords if I'm busy.
Sure.
And there was one day where Michelle texted me I can't remember what I texted her, but then I got back to work. She texted me oh no, my dad came over to pick up his laptop. And my top 3 were okay, oh my God, R.I.P. It's what?
Those are good.
I wish I know there's a way you could screen cap on your watch. I don't know how to do it because that would have been the day to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Jeez. No, that's what we have. So, all right. So we have 1 through 7 for you to pick from.
Is that Christmas one still in there?
Yeah, I'll eliminate it if you pick that one.
Okay, all right. 6.
Oh, cool. This is actually one I added yesterday, and I've been kind of thinking about it also. What is the most iconic car from TV or movies?
Ooh, TV or movies?
Yes.
Come on.
I feel like this really could be TV, and then another one could be movies, but...
Oh, this gives me an idea. I just got an idea. I'll go talk to you about it right after the show.
Okay.
So for me personally, I got to go with the General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard. Because as a kid, I watched that show all the time. I had multiple General Lee toys.
Yeah, so did I.
And Chargers still hold a special place in my heart to this day because of Dukes of Hazzard.
Well, especially if you just see an orange one, you automatically kind of assume it's
General Lee.
General Lee, yeah. Yeah, I can't fault you on that one for sure.
Yeah, it's got to be my go-to.
Okay. Mine has to be the DeLorean.
Oh, right.
Because even if it has nothing at all to do with Back to the Future, how many times have you heard someone refer to that car as the Back to the Future car?
Yeah, people are pretty
Even when
idiots.
it's not even in context, kind of a thing. And I think whenever you see one, which is rare, but whenever you see one, you kind of think that. And I think so many people have bought that car just because of the movie,
Probably.
Type of thing. So I think it's like there's a few on here that I don't think you can go wrong with. And I think yours is one, because you see it's the same thing. If you see that model of a car with that orange, you immediately think it's a General Lee,
Right.
because it's an iconic car. And I think, DeLorean's the same way. Like, it's so synonymous with the movie that you just can't not think of that when you see it,
For sure.
because there's others that I think you could, like, obviously like a Batmobile, but it's like, well, which one? Because there's so many Batmobiles that it's like, is there an iconic Batmobile? To me, there is. It'd be the 60s Batman one, but
Naturally.
but there's been a lot of cool Batmobiles over the years. So I don't think, and I saw some people, I got this on Reddit. I saw a lot of people say Kit from Knight Rider, and I was like, because I've seen that model of car and I don't immediately go, oh, it's Kit, so it's like, I don't think so. The A-Team van, I saw some people put, which is good. But again, you don't really, if you see a van similar to that, unless they've painted it like the A-Team van, you don't go, oh man, that's just like the A-Team van.
You're like, man, that dude likes kidnapping people.
Right. So that's where I was trying to think of, is like, I think to me, it's got to be a car that is, or something that is, as soon as you see it, you think of the TV show / movie, and obviously if you saw a Batmobile, you would think of whatever, but it's, that's so little. I mean, to the point that the DeLorean fits, like in GTA, they have a DeLorean knockoff in there
Right.
that flies, like that kind of thing. So it'd be like if in GTA, if they had a Dukes of Hazzard car, it would have the same horn. It just wouldn't have the rebel flag
all the decals all over it.
Right. But it might have the numbers on the side and stuff like that, or something similar. And, so I'm curious to see what others. I was really trying to think of other things that really, really stand out. Like, to me, ones that stand out, but I wouldn't put up there would be like, a red Ferrari, like Magnum PI drove. That was a pretty iconic car, but at the same time, it's not. I think if you showed it to people now, they wouldn't necessarily, unless they're our age or something,
right.
I think they identify it with anything. So that was kind of what I was thinking of, is like, what vehicles have really, really held in that regard. And I'm sure there's plenty of others, I'm just not thinking of, but the DeLorean, and the ones that popped into my head like right away were the DeLorean, General Lee, and shit, I can't think of the other one. There was another
helicopter from Airwolf.
Yeah. Now we're talking. I mean, the helicopter from Magnum PI is pretty iconic.
I mean, it's
too.
true.
I mean, if I see a helicopter painted like that, I would immediately think of TC's helicopter.
I mean, we got to go back to the Charger and, Dom's Charger for Fast and Furious, right?
Yeah. It's all about family.
It's all about family.
Yeah. So, yeah. I was trying to think, is there maybe going a little newer, the motorhome from Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I don't think it's on the same scale, but it's a pretty
it is iconic.
It's iconic enough that it got made as a Funko Pop.
Fair enough.
That I never got. I wish I had. It's worth quite a bit of money now. That was the other thing I was thinking of, was like, what rides, like what Funko Pop vehicles have been made, basically, is like, is there, because if we're I guess really, really and truly, I mean, there's shit like, the Millennium Falcon, like stuff like that. But I was thinking more like realistic stuff. But I guess the question doesn't necessarily specify that, Well, it says car, so yeah, I guess it does. Never mind.
Well, there you go.
Oh, the car from Starsky and Hutch. But that would, again, that's older, but man, that car is pretty iconic. That red car with the white stripe.
Right.
You certainly don't see much like that. But yeah. I was also trying to think of like what ones I've seen the toys made of the most, and realistically it's the General Lee. DeLorean's been made a bunch of times. Every Batmobile's been made to death. So really I guess Batmobile probably fits, but the question, like I said, is, if you had to pick what's your Batmobile? Like if you have to pick one.
Oh man, if I got to pick one, it's probably
Yeah.
the animated series Batmobile. I
Yeah.
always like the
That's
boxy, cool look of it.
me
Yeah.
that's my 1A.
Yeah.
I love the classic Batman with the 60s Batman Batmobile and the animated one. And I was trying to think as far as like Hot Wheels and stuff go, I probably have slightly more of the 60s Batmobile than I do the other one, but it's probably fairly close.
I also like the one from The Batman because it's just like some sick muscle
That's pretty
car.
cool too. Yeah, it really
Yeah.
does. That's one of my favorites in a while because I didn't like the whole like tank thing.
The Rumbler.
Yeah, because my biggest problem with the Batmobile has always been one thing, which is that I never have felt like it's nimble enough for what Batman wants it for.
Right.
The motorcycles make way more sense, But
what about the Batmobile from the Val Kilmer movies when it's like 12 feet long? It's got like a 6-foot wing on the top.
Yeah, right.
Very nimble.
The one that has like the neon lights in it.
Yes,
too.
Yeah. Well, he's got to have his ground effects. But let the homies know he's coming.
That's right. Yeah.
Come on now, Brian. You know what's up.
What was I thinking? What about the Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo?
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Again, I don't think Well, I have seen people paint their vans.
There's a dude in our area that has his van painted up like the Mystery Machine.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Yeah. That was, like I said, I was trying to think of like where exactly are my criteria on here, and I think to me it's like the biggest thing was like if I see a vehicle similar to it, I immediately think of that vehicle.
Right.
And like I said, DeLorean's the easy pick because nobody ever you don't see a DeLorean that's not silver.
That's out of, they're all stainless steel bodies.
Yeah, but still, like nobody's. Yeah, I know you can't. It's hard to paint stainless steel.
Like that's just out of design. There's actually a gold one. I saw a video about it. They made like 2 of them.
Oh,
and
wow,
because I saw some video about them talking about it, I was like, oh, that's wild. It's like gold plated.
Wow, all right. Shit, I need one of those.
Right?
Yeah. I think platinum plate one of them.
I thought they were. I thought DeLorean was coming back as an EV.
I think it's supposed to be. I haven't heard any more in a long time on it. So who knows? Whenever you hear stuff and it's that initial wave of something, it's like, well, we'll see.
Yeah, right.
So, all right. Well, there you go. The question this week is, what is the most iconic car from TV or movies?
Show us what you got.
What about the car from the Munsters?
Oh, I mean, that's pretty sweet. Hell yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, I get into it, Brian.
Whoa. I was trying to think. Is there a James Bond?
I mean, the Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought the coolest Bond car was the one that went underwater.
Oh yeah, the submarine car.
Yeah. To the point that there's they have one of those in GTA also.
Of course they do.
Because I was looking at the car and somebody mentioned something about like going underwater and I'm like, what? And I looked, I was like, oh, it's actually a submarine car.
Yeah.
Like I kind of want to know, but I don't want to spend $3 million in game currency on it because
So I think this question's harder to do for more modern movies because unless the car is something, it's just a product tie-in anymore. Like new James Bond movies are all product tie-ins.
True enough.
So
yeah.
It's like,
all right, what about like could you qualify Optimus Prime?
That's some gray area there. I don't know about that one.
Bumblebee? Yeah, because they're both very well known.
Yeah.
They don't even have to be the current ones.
Right.
No matter what. I was just
maybe in vehicle form.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning.
Because I mean, yellow. Anytime I see a yellow Volkswagen Beetle, I do think Bumblebee.
Right.
Fuck you, yellow Camaro. That's what I say.
I mean, I've seen yellow Camaros, but I don't immediately go, ooh, Bumblebee.
Yeah.
I just go, yellow Camaro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think you're right on that. You're totally right. Because, like, with Transformers, the vehicles that they chose, because instead of making it a VW bug again, like, they have to get approval from the car companies. And they don't, they're going to want to push whatever they're going to want to push.
Yeah, like
so,
all the cars were Chevys.
Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. I think you're right, because you're right. Most of the, honestly, like Fast and the Furious might be a weird break from that, because they have all different types of makes and models.
Yeah, for sure.
In those movies. Yeah. So it's a weird, because you're right. A lot of times, a lot of the cars are from one manufacturer or such.
Like Dom had his classic Charger, and I don't remember the character's name, but the other dude, the undercover cop kid, who had that Toyota Supra that everyone jacks off about.
Yep. Yeah. And I couldn't tell you how many different
and they've
cars.
Had so many cars in it now.
Yeah. I mean, they make die-cast ones of from the movie, and I have 2 Mustangs sitting up on my chest of drawers over there now.
Well, the Mustang Eleanor, right, from Bullet.
Yep. Or Gone in 60
Seconds.
Yeah.
Why did
you can't really see it. There we go. There you go. Now it's in front. I have a little die-cast of that. For those who don't know, I collect I mostly Hot Wheels size Mustangs. Yeah. I have very few that are bigger than that, because I just don't want them to take tons of space.
And actual horses, the Mustang.
And horses. Yes, of course. And I have 19 of the cars just sitting outside.
Naturally.
I know it's not. I just have the car.
Yeah. I mean, most people that have a lot of cars don't drive them anyway, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm just like all those other jerks.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. That's the end of the show proper, I guess. We'll have a little word at the end here coming up. But in the meantime, head to saltylanguage.com. It's got all the links, the show notes, all that kind of stuff. You can see the link to the network we're part of, which is Tangentbound Network, and can be found at tangentboundnetwork.com. So please go check them out, especially if your show looking to be part of a network. And if you happen to talk with Mark, I don't know. What do you got this week?
To buy a sweet car and join a movie.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yes, I don't know. Yeah. All right. And if you want to reach out to us on social media, you can find us on Twitter at salty_language. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stunami.
You can find me on Instagram at The Monotony. You can also find me at All the Beers on YouTube, which would be pretty cool if you did.
Yeah.
And, Brian, you can find this channel right here on YouTube. If you're watching it now, you already know that. If you're not watching it, why aren't you? We're beautiful.
Sure.
Yeah. Look at our glorious beards and bald heads. Check us out on Salty Language Pod on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up, a subscribe. Click the little belly bell, make some comments. Have a good time.
The belly bell. It sounds like something you would put on like a belly ring or something. You just have a little bell.
Hell yeah, the old belly bell.
Yikes.
Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/saltylanguage. Throw your boys a little cash flow money if you want to see the extra content we put up. We just talked about our own show. We got a good hour and a half of new content going up soon. And TikTok, we're there, whatever. What else you got going on, Brian? What's your side gig?
You can check me out on the Crazy Life podcast, which I do with Henno and Jen. And we talk about mental health and mental illness and recovery, addiction, all sorts of stuff like that. So if that sounds like something, and just our journeys through these things. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, please give us a listen. Same place you can find any other podcast.
Same bat place.
Pretty sure. Yep. Same bat place, same bat channel or something. Yep. And I think that's all them links. Oh, no, I already said that. Never mind.
All right.
Moving on. It's all right. So this week, I've got a thing that's insults we should bring back, apparently, is what this is called, that we're going to be going through now.
I like it. All right.
All right. This one I'm not real, I don't know. I don't love this one. But it's Gobermouch or Gobermouch. I don't know. It's Gobermouch.
All right.
So it says this is an old Irish term for someone who likes to meddle in other people's business. Everybody knows a busybody, right?
Butt in skis.
Yep. Don't let your Gobermouch in-law or next door Gobermouch have any more control over you than they already do. Shut the blinds and privatize the social media.
Oh, someone put Gobermouch in a current context, huh?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Stop tweeting about your pharmacy visits. All the Gobermouches are going to find out. Something like that?
Yeah, basically.
Now, if this is a spelling bee.
Oh, boy.
Use Gobermouch in a sentence.
Yeah, I just typed it in to see what what comes up here on like I was looking for a pronunciation of it to see if I was.
Well, since it's an Irish thing, it's probably like, hey, you've had a Gobermouch.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Why is that's not spelled the same way at all? Huh. All right.
Stop being a Gobermouch, Brian. Let it go.
I will not. You cannot make me.
How dare you?
Well, I'm gonna play it here so I can hear it. Nobody else will, but
That's rude.
Gobermouche is how it's said.
Gobermouche?
I don't know, man. Gobermouche doesn't sound Irish, does it?
No.
I don't know. I don't know if I believe you this time.
Yeah. Oh, Patty, that's a Gobermouche.
Yeah, that sounds more accurate.
Yeah. In honor of St. Patty's Day.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how my ancestors said it, I'm sure.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, the heedly ho.
All right. There you go. So until next week, have a beer. You'll be fine.
Oh, man. Stay so salty, everybody.
Boom.